Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down why one of the toughest exams in the tech world has such a crazy high failure rate. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can be one of the few who actually beat the odds.
So, let's just dive right in with this number, 80%.
Yep, that is the percentage of candidates who do not pass this thing on their first try. It's a staggering number, and honestly, it intimidates a lot of really smart people.
So does that mean they just aren't smart enough? The answer is almost always a hard no. See, raw intelligence really isn't the deciding factor here. Failure, it turns out, nearly always comes down to a handful of specific, predictable, and totally avoidable mistakes. To really get how to succeed, you first got to understand how people fail. So let's look at the four most common ways people bomb this thing. We'll call them failure personas, and we're going to rank them by how painful the failure feels, because that's where the real lessons are hidden.
First up is a persona we'll call the undercooked. This is the person who just plain didn't put in enough hands-on lab time. And you know what? Deep down, they know they weren't really ready. The pain level is pretty low here because the result, well, it wasn't exactly a surprise.
Next, we have the one who cracked. Now, this candidate is a total rock star in the practice labs. Technically, they're perfect, but the moment they're under the intense pressure of the real exam, their performance just completely crumbles. The pain's a lot higher here, a 6 out of 10, because they know they have the skills to pass.
Then there's the rare case of the unlucky. This is when something totally external goes wrong, like a hardware failure or a bug in the lab itself. It completely derails a candidate who is otherwise 100% prepared. This one hurts because it was completely out of their control.
And finally, we have the most painful failure of all, the absolute worst. We'll call this one the one who celebrated too early. This is the candidate who finishes the entire 8-hour exam feeling great, totally confident, maybe even on top of the world, only to get that failing score a few hours later. It is absolutely devastating, a 10 out of 10 on the pain scale.
So here's the crucial point. These aren't just random bad days. They are very distinct patterns of failure. And it's that last one, the most painful one, the one who celebrated too early, that actually holds the secret to success.
So how do you avoid that soul-crushing 10 out of 10 pain? Well, it all comes down to avoiding two very specific mistakes. If you can master these two golden rules, you will separate yourself from almost everyone else taking this exam.
Okay, golden rule number 1 is all about your reading comprehension. The exam is graded by automated scripts, and these scripts are absolutely brutal. They don't care about your logic, they don't care how close you were. If you miss a single critical word, or even use the wrong case, like lowercase instead of uppercase, you get 0 points for that task. That's it. It is that unforgiving. The second golden rule, you have to have a non-negotiable verification strategy. See, a lot of the candidates who fail just assume that once they've configured something, it's correct. The people who pass, they know that configuration is only half the battle. They have a system to prove that their work meets every single requirement, line by line. And that verification strategy has to include this: 2 hours. A dedicated, protected 2-hour window at the end of the 8-hour exam. This isn't just if you finish early time. No, it's an essential planned part of your test where you go back and catch all those tiny errors that cause catastrophic failure. All right, so let's put this all together. Let's talk about an actionable game plan that can land you in that top 20%, the people who actually pass.
It all starts with this number, 500. This is the non-debatable absolute minimum number of structured, hands-on lab hours you need to be ready. Anything less than this, and you're basically volunteering to be in that undercooked category.
So, the winning game plan has 4 crystal clear steps. Step 1, hit your 500 lab hours. No excuses. Step 2, you've got to inoculate yourself against the pressure. That means taking 4 to 6 realistic full-length mock exams. Step 3, master the clock. Manage your time methodically from the second you start. And step 4, protect those final 2 hours for what we'll call your golden review, that critical verification time.
So when you boil it all down, passing the CCIE, or frankly any high-stakes challenge like it really doesn't come down to how smart you are. It's not about raw talent.
It comes down to deliberate strategy, consistent practice, and just flawless execution on the day it matters most. It's all about having a rock-solid plan and sticking to it, especially when the pressure is on. So the real question isn't, are you smart enough? It's, how will you prepare to execute?